Hello everyone. Welcome to my channel English Waves. I'm Anna. Today, I want to talk about something we all know, exams and tests. Sometimes, they can feel a little scary, right? But don't worry. I'm going to share my experience with you. I will tell you how I study, how I feel, and what I do on test day. I will use easy words and short sentences so everyone can understand. Let's start with studying. The most important thing for me is to start early. I do not wait until the night before the test. That is too stressful. Usually, I start studying 1 or 2 weeks before the exam. This gives me plenty of time. I don't have to rush. First, I look at my notes from class. I read them carefully. I try to remember what the teacher said. If there is something I don't understand, I put a star next to it. This means I need to look at it again later. Reading my notes helps refresh my memory. It's like rewatching a movie you saw a long time ago. Next, I look at my textbook. The textbook has a lot of information. I don't read every single word. I look for the important parts. These are often in bold or in special boxers. I read the summary at the end of each chapter. The summary is very helpful. It tells you the main ideas. I also try to answer the questions at the end of the chapter. This shows me if I really understand the topic. After I review my notes and the book, I make my own study notes. This is my favorite part. I use a clean notebook. I write down the most important things in my own words. Using my own words helps me understand better. It's like explaining something to a friend. If you can explain it, you understand it. I also use colors. I use a yellow highlighter for important words. I use a green pen for definitions. Using colors makes my notes fun to look at. It also helps my brain remember the information. I also like to make flashcards. Flashcards are small cards. On one side, I write a question or a word. On the other side, I write the answer or the definition. Flashcards are great for memorizing facts, dates, and vocabulary. I can carry them with me. I can study when I'm on the bus or waiting for a friend. It's a very easy way to study a little bit every day. Studying with friends can also be very helpful. We meet at the library or at someone's house. We ask each other questions. We explain topics to each other. Sometimes, a friend can explain something in a way that is easier to understand than the textbook. We can also test each other. It makes studying feel less lonely and more like a team activity, but it is important to stay focused. We try not to talk about other things too much. Now, let's talk about feelings. The night before the test, I often feel a little nervous. My stomach might feel funny. I might think, what if I forget everything? This is a normal feeling. Many people feel this way. To help with the nerves, I do a final, quick review of my notes. I don't try to learn anything new. I just look over my colorful notes and flashcards. This helps me feel more confident. Then, I prepare everything for the next day. I put my pens, pencils, eraser, and student ID in my bag. If I'm allowed to use a calculator, I make sure it has batteries. Being prepared helps me feel calm. I don't want to rush in the morning. The most important thing to do the night before a test is to get good sleep. I try to go to bed early. A tired brain cannot think well. Sleep helps your brain organize all the information you studied. So, no staying up all night. It's better to sleep than to study for 1 more hour. On the morning of the test, I wake up and have a good breakfast. I eat something healthy, like eggs or oatmeal. I don't drink too much coffee because it can make me feel more nervous. A healthy breakfast gives my brain energy to think. Food is fuel for your brain. When I get to the test room, I try to stay calm. I take a few deep breaths. I breathe in slowly and I breathe out slowly. This really helps to relax my body and my mind. I tell myself I studied hard. I can do this. A little positive self-talk can make a big difference. I don't talk to other students about the test right before it starts. Hearing them worry can make me worry too. When I get the test paper, I don't start writing immediately. First, I write my name on it. That's very important. Then, I read all the instructions carefully. I want to make sure I know what to do. How much time do I have? How many questions do I need to answer? Next, I look through the whole test quickly. I see what kinds of questions there are. This helps me manage my time. I usually answer the easy questions first. This gives me confidence. It also saves more time for the difficult questions later. If I see a question I don't know, I don't panic. I skip it and come back to it later. It's better to keep moving. When I'm answering questions, I read each one very carefully. Sometimes, a single word can change the meaning of the question. I try to think clearly and write my answers neatly. If it's a multiple choice question, I read all the options before I choose one. Sometimes, two answers look similar, so it's important to be careful. Time management is key. I keep an eye on the clock. I try not to spend too much time on one question. If a question is worth only 1 point, I give it a short amount of time. If a question is worth 10 points, I spend more time on it. After I finish all the questions, I use the extra time to check my answers. I go back to the questions I skipped. I try to answer them now. Even if I'm not sure, I try to make a good guess. It's better to write something than to leave it blank. Then, I check my other answers for any silly mistakes. Did I spell everything correctly? Did I answer the right question? This final check can help you get a few extra points. When the time is up, I hand in my test. And then, I relax. The test is over. I try not to worry about it anymore. I did my best, and that's what matters. I don't like to discuss the answers with my friends right after. What's done is done. It's time to take a break and do something fun. So, that's my journey with exams. It involves starting early, making good notes, getting enough sleep, and staying calm. Exams can be challenging, but with good preparation, you can do great. Remember, a test does not define who you are. It's just a way to show what you have learned. Thank you so much for watching. I hope my tips were helpful for you. How do you prepare for your exams? Let me know in the comments below. I would love to read your ideas. If you liked this video, please give it a thumbs up and subscribe to my channel for more content. See you in the next video. Bye.